In this video, we're going to talk about how you can use layout table reports to create reports that have frames that surround multiple sections of a report. So what you can see here in this very simple report is a report that has a group header and a group footer. The group footer has been justified to the bottom of the report, and you can see here that we have a border around all three sections of the report. When we navigate from one group to the next group, the border is a fixed size because the group footer was justified to the bottom of the page. If the group footer had not been justified to the bottom of the page, then this group footer would appear directly underneath the last detail record, and then the border would have just gone around that smaller section. But by justifying the report footer to the bottom, we now have a fixed size group header, a fixed size frame around all three sections of the report. So what we're going to do now is start from scratch and build up this report from scratch, and talk about how the box object is used in layout table reports. So let's close this down, and then we'll open up the report Genie. So we'll create a new report on the customer table, and we'll choose customer ID, first name, last name, and say city as our columns. We'll turn the count on city. We'll go and group it on bill, state, region, and you can see here if we go to preview, we get a very vanilla looking report. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is that if I go now and change from using the minimal style to say using a style with section borders, and then we go to preview, I can see now that the report has got lines around it, and that's going to be important later on when we discuss the box object. So let's go back now and go back to our minimal style, and when we preview that, we don't see any boxes. So now let's open up this report in the full report editor. So we're going to save it here and open it up in the full report editor. And here we have our report in the full report editor, and if I preview, I see exactly what I saw before. And again, if I go now to style sheets and I apply, say, a style with section borders, and then click OK, and let me just now go and just resize some of these sections because the style has slightly bigger fonts, etc. And now when I do my preview, I see that report with borders on it. Let's just go make the state a little bit bigger as well. So there we go. We see our report with borders. But if we go back to our style sheet and as a minimal style sheet, then and click OK and then hit preview, we see no borders over there. But if we go back to the actual report itself and examine it more closely, if we click over there, for example, and select that cell, what we see in the corner over here is a special selector, which is the box selector. So I'm going to go there and click now on that selector, and you can see now that there's a box that has been drawn all around the report, starting in the group header and then ending in the group footer. And now, depending on what style sheet is active, this box either shows up or doesn't show up. So the box has actually always been put there by the Genie, but depending on the style sheet, it's either there or not there. So when the report was generated, we actually put the box object in. So now if I preview it, I see nothing. But if I were to go now to this particular box object and change the style, then let's go there now and again choose a different style and then do my preview. Now I get to see that box. So when the box is selected, you can see here in the property sheet, we're now looking at the properties of the box. But what's interesting about this is that the properties here show that the color is not defined and that the width is 0 and the style is not defined. So then the question is, well, if none of those things were defined, why am I actually seeing a box when I preview the report? So let's pause now and pick this up in the next video. So we're continuing our discussion about the box object in layout table reports, and we're discussing now why it is that when I preview this report I see a box here even though the property sheet here doesn't specify any properties for the box. And of course the reason is that the report is using a named style now, and this named style called blue section borders has specified properties for the box, and so the box properties are being defined now by the style sheet for the report, and I can basically create my own style sheets by making new styles that are based on these system styles and then just editing the my custom styles. Or just like any other CSS, I can define inline styles. So while the style for this box has been defined by the style sheet, I can go over here and override the style. So let's go now and change that style, the inline color, to red. And now when I go and preview, I see a red border. So what we've done over here is we've shown how we can go and in effect use an inline style to override the style in the style sheet. So let's go back now to our minimal style. So we're going to go back to our minimal style, and now when we go to preview the report, we don't see any box, because even though we specified a box color over here, we haven't specified now our own style. So let's go and choose, for example, large rounded with single line, and let's go and choose, say, 2 pixels over there as the color, and then preview. So now you can see that we have our border going all the way around the box. So now let's basically go and remove the box completely and start from scratch. So I'm going to go there and click in the first cell, and then click a second time, and to select the box. So I'll just do that again quickly. So to select the box, you click on this icon here, this little box icon that's inside the cell, and then this green border here comes up and shows you the full extent of the box. And you can see on each corner of the box there's this these sort of horizontal lines that indicate that that's where you can click and then resize the box. And you also get this drop down menu over here, which gives you options for the box. So what I'd like to do is actually remove the box completely. So I'm going to go there and say delete box. So what we have now is I've deleted the box, and if I preview the report now, I don't see any box at all. Now what I'd like to do is put in a box that goes from above the group header all the way down to the group footer. And what I'd like to do also is put in a blank row above the group footer, so that there's so that the boxes are not touching each other. So I'm going to right click in this row and say insert row before. So now I've inserted a row before, and let's just go here and save this as demo report 2. And now I'd like to go ahead and add my box. So I click in the cell and I right click and I say add box. So that adds a box, but the extent of the box is just the single cell. And now what I'd like to do is extend the box so that it goes all the way down to report count. So I put my mouse over one of these diagonal corners, and I wait until I get this northwest icon over there. When I have that icon, I click and hold down on the mouse, and then I can start dragging. So now I'm dragging the mouse all the way to extend the border now. And now that I have the border extending the full size that I'd like, I can now go and set properties on this box. So let's pause now and pick this up in the next video. So we're continuing our discussion of the box object in layout table reports, and we've just placed a box on the report, and now we'd like to go and set the properties of this box. So let's go and choose the box color. So I'll go and choose, say, a color here. Let's go and choose that blue color, and then let's go and choose a style, and we'll choose large rounded corners, single line, and we'll choose, say, 2 pixels. So let's save that now and go ahead and preview, and you can see there we have our our box now. And now let's go and specify that we'd like each group to start on its own page, and that we would like the group footer to be justified to the bottom of the screen. So let's go back to the builder now and set those properties. So we'll right click on the group, go to properties, and then specify start each group on a new page. And then we'll right click on the group footer over here, go to properties, and we'll say justify to the bottom of the page. And let's go ahead now and then save this and preview. And so there's our first group, second group, third group, etc. So now you can see here that we've got a border around all three sections of the report, and the group footer has been justified to the bottom of the screen, and we've achieved exactly what we wanted in this report. Now these box objects can obviously be placed in many different sections, in many different parts of the report, and for each box you can specify which borders are turned on. So in this particular case, this box, we've turned on all of the borders, left, right, top and bottom. But if you want to put vertical lines in a report, you can create boxes that only have, for example, the left edge turned on or the right edge turned on, etc. And you can put as many boxes as you want in the report, and specify the styles for those boxes in the property sheet. So the box object gives you a great deal of flexibility for drawing boxes around the data in your report, and making those boxes look pretty nice with rounded corners and explicitly styled options. Thanks very much for watching.